Reselling Life.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of This Is Your Reselling Life. Tonight, we have some awesome guests all the way from the UK. They go by the name of Cookie and the Haydens on YouTube. So Chris and Belle are with us tonight to hopefully tell us a bit about their journey. So let's get them up on the screen and chat a bit about their reselling journey.
Hey, guys.
Good day.
You're right.
You all right?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for inviting us.
Your morning.
No, thank you. Yeah, good to be on.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess we sort of always start off with a bit about how you both got involved in reselling, where it all began for you. So did you want to talk a little bit about your journey so far?
Right, where it all started. Well, basically, I've been buying and selling on eBay since the year 2000, so almost 20 years. But probably as a business since 2015. So when we started actually buying stuff to resell, specifically to resell, we set up as a business, as you should. And so since then, but we kind of started, we didn't 100% start like we are now. We kind of started by making bundles of movie related items that we used to sell on Facebook, on our group on Facebook. So we'd have like a DVD, say a Spider-Man DVD, then we put a Spider-Man plush with it, some comics and some other bits to make like a bit of a bundle, and they were going really well at Christmas. So
we made our own bows to go on them out of real movie reel.
Yeah,
which sound really cool, and they did look really cool, but they were
really
the
hard
fiddliest things to make ever.
Yeah, I imagine.
The detail.
That's kind of how we started, because what we realized, like the year after we started doing the bundles, we found that they weren't selling so much and Facebook was getting a real pain. So what we decided was we'd actually just start selling items individually instead of in bundles. So we started off just selling movie related stuff, hence the name Movie Fusion, which is our eBay store. And then we just slowly branched out as we started learning more about reselling, and that's where it's gone from there.
He says this "we" like a lot, and to be fair, I was part of the original Movie Fusion bundle sort of thing going on, but when he went onto eBay, I kind of left him to it because it was his little hobby, and I didn't really have a massive interest in it. But obviously, it's one of them. You can't beat them, you join them, don't you? So
yeah,
it becomes such a large part of your life that, and I've always enjoyed. I always enjoy going to charity shops, like just for myself, never, not to resell. So wandering around behind him, he was buying stuff for eBay, and I was just like buying stuff for myself.
Yeah.
You slowly got into it, didn't you?
Slowly, I started to kind of find that I was subconsciously learning, things. I was kind of picking stuff out and going, oh, isn't this worth something? And now I don't even really
buy. Better than me now.
Yeah, now I don't even really buy for myself anymore, which is really sad. I'm actually
taken over.
Yeah, that's how you get the bug. I think you go a few times and you see other people succeeding, and you're just like, man, I could grab that, I could find that. Like,
and your perspective does change, because if I'm looking for the store, I can't look for myself, and if I'm looking for myself, I don't see anything for the store.
Yeah. She picks out like 5 items. She's like, oh, this is for me. This is for me. I'm like, you find anything for the store? She's like, oh,
gonna switch gears.
I'll go do that now.
Did you two both sort of start together doing it, or
much the same as yourself? It was Brad was doing it, and then it grew into a beast, and I had to join in. I got sucked in.
Yeah, and now Jazz is
it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Now I'm obsessed.
Yeah, Jazz is a huge part of our business now. She does a lot of the photography, and she's taken one day off a week to, invest more time on eBay as well. So
hang on. So you started it, Brad, but Jazz is the one taking the days off work. What's that?
Well, Jazz's work wasn't really feeding her very well, and there's some changes coming up there. I just got a new role, and I'm doing okay with it. So it just made sense that Jazzy went at this time. Like, if it was 6 months ago, it probably would have been me, but things have changed. I guess it's just one of those things over time that adapts, and you
circumstantial.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, we spoke at length before deciding. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. Before we go too much further, we'll just say g'day to everyone in the chat. Let them know we're grateful for them coming along. So it looks like On Cue Buckaroo was in the chat first. Thanks for coming. We have Watcher1421. G'day, mate. Some people named Cookie and the Haydens. Thrifty Pixie, which is Cara. Game On Couple. G'day, guys. Money Mental UK. I don't know if you've heard of that guy. He's
oh my God, he's like a stalker. He's everywhere.
Kick him out.
Look, Mom, I'm hustling. Another great Australian couple down here. Reselling. Captain Op Shop Nerd, fellow Adelaidean. Back from Burnout. Mel. Welcome to my world. Tommy Bernhard. G'day, mate. Thanks for coming along.
Oh my gosh, you're up late.
VHS Thrifter, which is Rob. Diary of a Flipper. Try and catch up with the chat here. Which way? We flipping good stuff is Zach, Eric. G'day, Kaylee.
Hi.
To everyone. I don't want to miss anyone now. If I've missed your name, I'm sorry. Pick a Flipper. Thanks for coming in. So thanks everyone for coming along. I'll flip in Sydney as well.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming along to learn a little bit about reselling in the UK and a bit about Chris and Belle's story. So really appreciate everyone coming along tonight. It's a bit of a later time frame to accommodate our UK friends. So thanks for coming along. So I sort of did a little bit of research into you guys before we jumped on tonight just to find some topics to talk about. So Movie Fusion, which is your eBay store. You sort of touched on it a little bit then, but why Movie Fusion? What was the sort of the driver behind that?
What, the name?
Yeah.
Well, it was when we first started doing the packages. We originally started doing them because Chris has always been a big movie buff and likes collecting stuff. And I found that trying to find reasonably priced items for movie collectors is really difficult because they're all quite high priced. So that's why I was like, well, why don't we purchase things and sell them at a lower price, at, a price that is reasonable for collectors. And that's where we were like, well, how do we name it? So I was like, well, we're fusing things together, aren't we? And so we literally deliberated for about 3 weeks.
Ages, yeah. Well, it is one of the most important things, isn't it, that you get your name right from the start, because the last thing you want to do is have to change it halfway through. So
so because we were doing the packages and we were fusing movie items together with other stuff, that's where we eventually came up with it. But yeah, like you said, it started off with our little Facebook business, didn't it?
And what platforms are you on now? Are you still on Facebook as well?
We still have that page. We've got our Movie Fusion page. I don't use it that often. I mean, I've got like 600 or 700 people on there. But now and again, I'll share something from eBay and put it on. But we don't list on there anymore because we've just found the whole Facebook thing. You've probably noticed from some of my chats that I really got to be in my bonnet about Facebook, and it's become a real chore to use it.
When we first started doing it, the Facebook Marketplace didn't exist. Yeah, it was they just started to bringing in the buying and selling groups.
Yeah,
so there wasn't half.
It was a different beast, wasn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't half as many now. So you could put a post on and get loads of traction, whereas you put a post on now and within minutes you're 40 posts down.
Yeah, and you get the time wasters and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, so it was good for the time, for the setup of what we did, but it's just not feasible now. The marketplace has just grown.
It's just changed the way they work.
Too big.
And do you guys sell on Amazon as well?
Yes, we do. Although I might review that in January, February, because I've probably got about 150 items up at Amazon. I only do I say only do FBA. I've got a few things on fulfilled by merchant, but I haven't sold a single thing on using that method. But I've got about 150 items at Amazon. But they've got a tendency to reject stuff even after you've sent it. So I'm getting a bit cheesed off with that now.
Yeah. We haven't really had we have Amazon, but it's not very strong market here for that. So
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. I've watched obviously Rod and Andrew and all that.
definitely.
So when they say it's stranded, are they sending it back to you? Or
No,
limbo?
basically it gets stranded if you send an item up and there's something, say they decide that you're not allowed to list in that category, even after they've agreed that you can when you scan it in the first place, they can still change their mind even when they've got it. So then they make it stranded. Or if there's a problem with, say, the barcode, or if there's a problem with the item that you've actually sent, they'll put it in stranded. You've then got to decide what you want to do with it. You can either destroy it, you can instruct them to destroy it, you can instruct them to donate it to charity, or you have to pay to get it back. I think they're the three options.
Rough.
To have it sent back, it's not particularly expensive, but obviously if you have to do a large number of items, it does add up.
Yeah, definitely. So I've got a bit of a crowdsource question here, and if anyone does have any questions during the night, please drop them in. So some person named Moneymaker UK, Andrew, has asked, who is Chris and Belle's favourite UK-based reseller? Asking for a friend.
Oh, definitely. I don't know. Who's our favourite one? Who do we watch the most of?
There's loads.
We like everybody.
Yeah, there's loads. I'm not picking one out. I follow so many people on YouTube. I like watching the new people that come on, because people are trying to find new angles of way of doing videos, and I really like a lot of the new ones that come on. Yeah,
they are interesting because they do bring new light to the subject, and they have new ideas and always coming with new stuff, and it pushes like the old resellers to learn as well, I think.
Never stop.
The thing what I find with making these videos on YouTube is I really don't like making regular the same videos, because I find I don't get much joy out of it, even though it might get a load of views. It's more important to me that the time I'm 3, 4, 5 hours even editing a video and making one, I want to do something different. So like, this is good. You guys have found something different to do each week. Bring on a new guest. That's a great idea. And like, I don't like doing the same thing every week. And I know everyone's different in what they like to do. But I prefer to sort of try and find something new, if you like.
Yeah, and that's probably a good segue to another question I had about Reselling World. So I know that you guys have started that up. Where did that idea come from? Because that's a pretty cool little segment you got going there. I really enjoy it. And I'm trying to get in real fast with those like scrambled pictures. I'm like having up typing, and I feel like there's a lag between Australia and in England.
It probably is. Yeah.
I don't know. You pretty much missed a couple of weeks and still managed to win. How was that happened?
You gave up. You basically gave up the prize last time, didn't you? I mean, you pretty much won it. So
I didn't know maybe that last one was.
maybe something will come in the post at some point. You never know.
That's a long way.
We started that really because we started doing reseller ramblings, where we would just come on, turn on, and just chat about a few things that we had written down.
But we always tried to have a specific question, like one question that we would put out there to people. And you were really struggling.
I was starting to struggle to think of things, specifically to talk about. So I thought, let's mix it up, and by having the Reseller World, it kind of splits it up a bit, so you can move on to something else.
I absolutely dread when he walks in a room and goes, "I think we should do," and I go, because it means he's going to sit there.
I feel like we have very similar relationship structures, because I'm always like, we should do this, and Jazzy's looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Why do we need to change it?
But to be honest, I've made a rod for my own back with this Reseller World, because it takes me like 4 times as long to prepare for it.
Yeah, you put a lot of effort into that.
I have I'll show you. I have me production notes that I have for each section, and I never used to have that for the other things. I used to just wing it pretty much.
And like yesterday, he'll just sit there. I'll be cooking tea, and he'll be shouting through to the next room. so what question can we ask? What can we do for this bit? And I'm like, I don't know.
Now you've started it people are kind of want it to be there as well. So you kind of.
I mean, we watch a lot of. I don't know if you watch him, but Jason T. Smith in the States. Don't know if you've ever seen him.
I've seen him when he was doing the TV series. Yeah.
Yeah. He does like some good shows like Thrifty Business and Thrifting Over 50 and stuff like that. And he puts a lot of bells and whistles on his lives, like he'll do music and little intro sequences. So I kind of took a bit of inspiration from that as well.
Oh, you've definitely you can definitely tell you put the effort in, and so far it looks like it's going really well. So yeah, I enjoy catching him when I can. I always miss the back end of it because I'm going into work and I'm like,
you actually missed the quiz yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to jump out.
As soon as you'd gone, I was like, right, everybody's got a chance now. 2 Aussie Thrifters. Come on.
Buckle Y was going strong on it too. So
you're very competitive.
I am very competitive. Say hello to a couple more people. So g'day Sinister. Thanks for coming along.
Hey.
Ken's in as well. Lainey, thanks for coming along. That was really awesome to chat with her the other night. Learn a bit about her story because we hadn't come across her yet. So that was really cool. Yeah, she's got a great story. We'll scroll down. All right, we're up with the chat, so we're all good. Hey, Drew and Sarah. So yeah, I guess you've recently gone full time, Chris. So you've transitioned from a full time job to full time eBay. How has that been over the last month? It's been about a month now, has it?
Scary.
Yeah, probably about a month, maybe a bit less. Yeah, pretty scary, really, to be honest with you. I still don't think I'm probably at where I need to be to pull in what I was pulling in before in my job. But every day I'm growing even more. I'm listing more stuff than I could ever have done before. You know, I aim for sort of 20 to 30 listings a day, and that'll include some clothing as well, because you know, like clothing, it takes ages. So I try not to do a full day of clothing, otherwise I feel like I've not achieved anything. So I kind of split up a bit. I might do 4 or 5 clothing items and then do some stuff that's a lot quicker.
I think the only issue with that though is, you know, the clothing items tend to be higher price and they sell quite quickly. So
I think the main thing that I struggle with at the moment is the time management stuff. It's like when I first started, I was trying to stick to like Monday to Friday, like my old job, Monday to Friday, sort of 8 till 4, and to try and force myself to have separate time where we can just sit, watch telly or whatever, and go out or whatever. But it doesn't really work like that, and I need to get into more of a mind frame that I can go and do something else in the morning. I don't have to do the listing. I can do something else and switch my time around a bit because the day is mine. And I'm still struggling with that a little bit, I think.
It's so hard to break out of. Does it feel real yet? Because I remember you saying like, oh, it just feels like I'm taking some leave and I'll have to go back soon.
I'm still there now. I still feel like I'm going to end up going back, you know, back to work at some point. But I have taken a wage last month, not as much as my previous job. I've got enough in the business account to sort of do 2 to 3 months of a reasonable wage, and then I'm gonna need to really kick in. So I've got a bit of kind of a grace period where I can just settle into the routine, if you like.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
I'll come back to your previous job in a sec, but I just want to ask.
The reality might not have kicked in for him, but I've hit the reality of I want to stay at home. I don't want to go to work.
Yeah, it's a spreading disease. Once one starts, you're like, oh, maybe I can do a day. So Rod has a question. Sorry, I'm late. Question for Chris: is it true Pep is leaving?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Question, right? Is that soccer?
Yeah. I'm just looking on Twitter, but I've not seen anything. No, I Rubbish.
I think that's probably Rod just trying to get a little bit of a dig in there. He does
Really?
like to do that.
No,
He's a City fan.
He is a blue.
Yeah.
You guys follow soccer?
No, I follow AFL, which is Australian rules football, so not soccer. I watch a bit of like the international stuff, but I don't really get into it real hardcore like I do the footy and stuff.
The club that we support, Manchester City. Sorry, they are. That's not pet breathing, is it? No. They own Melbourne City.
Yes,
they're connected to that club, so I kind of watch a little bit of their games, not a lot because it's a bit hard to sort of catch up with the games. But yeah, if I'm going to watch any club, I'll watch them.
Definitely.
Yeah. I've just seen Andrew's question there. Who is the better soccer player, Chris or Belle? A story that would prove I am the better soccer player out of the two of us.
What's this?
Oh,
I can't even see it. I've lost the question. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
What are you going to say? I don't even know what you're going to say.
You will do as soon as you start saying it. When we were both in our when Chris was in his previous job and I'd first started, Chris used to be my supervisor in the police, and we went to a school that was having issues, a primary school. And while we was in the playground and all the kids were coming out to meet the parents, a couple of them were playing football, and this ball kind of came over to us. So he was in full uniform, went to kick the ball back, full face planted this ball into one of the parents' faces.
Wow.
I have never wanted the floor to open up and swallow me so much in my life.
How do you think I felt?
To see a police officer take out a parent in the playground with a ball was hilarious.
That's amazing. That's a great story.
Why do you remind me of that? That's so embarrassing.
So, Chris, you did touch on it a little bit there. You were working for the police. So, how has that transition from serving to working for yourself? Has that been difficult to change your mindset? Do you think do you feel a little bit more free now, or is it sort of something that you're missing?
Well, I didn't go straight from the police to this. I worked for a charity for 3 years.
Okay.
So I did 13 years as a police officer, and then I left because the stress was becoming too much.
Yeah.
I'd have just gone under. I think I'd have just gone off sick and ended up at the doctors and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'd made a big decision to leave, and I went to work organising events at a charity. So I was like an events planner, and then obviously I went down to 1 day a week. I dropped 1 day a week like Jazz has, and after about 4 months of doing that, I decided to leave. So it's kind of been a gradual transition. But
Yeah.
But leaving the police was the best decision he ever made.
probably
yeah.
As we were saying before, one of our friends works in the police force, and even he's only been in 3-4 years now, and even he's sort of said stuff to me like, he thinks he's suffering from certain things, and he never really showed signs of that before, and he's a pretty strong guy, which I'm sure you are as well, but just the stuff that job exposes you to, I think is
absolutely
quite difficult.
I don't even think it's that. I think just within the police force itself, everything is changing. All the cutbacks are so severe that everybody is just overworked. Everybody is just so overworked, and you're expected to do so much. The pressure is just unreal at the moment. It really is. And I mean, you left 3-4 years ago, and it's just got worse since then. So we really did
got out the right time.
It was the best decision to make, definitely.
And I think when you look back at those situations, you're like, I'm so glad that I did get out then, because you would have just gone further and further down that hole.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
It's amazing what you can get used to.
Yeah, or what you put up with, and then then you realize you don't have to put up with it, which I think is what reselling provides a lot of us is a bit of an out and a bit of a second option. So I guess what is reselling, apart from obviously now providing you a wage, but what has it given you outside of a wage? Is it just that peace of mind that you can do something yourself and also provide and not rely on someone else to provide that wage for you?
Yeah, I think it's, like when you work for somebody or you work for another organization, there's certain things you want to do, you think you can do better and stuff, or you get spoken to in a way in which you don't want to be spoken to. It's like, well, the best thing to do is work for yourself if you can, and be responsible for yourself, and then you've only got yourself to answer for, haven't you? So I just think, I used to have a business years ago, back in sort of 99, 2000, 2001, something like that. I used to have a DVD computer game shop, like a bricks and mortar shop. I was only like 20 at the time. I had a shop for 2 years, and I always said after that, because I said I would never go self-employed again because of the amount of time that was involved in it. I didn't, have a holiday for a couple of years. I worked pretty much every day of the week. But this kind of job that we're doing, the reselling, is a completely different ball game.
You can do it from a beach in Barbados.
Exactly. if you're clever about it, you get all your listings done. You can drip feed them while you're on holiday, and your sales are still coming in.
That's what we did when we went to Darwin. We sort of pre-planned and did a couple extra each day, and sort of scheduled them so that we have 5 or 10 going live each day, and we're just sitting there like having a beer, and it was awesome. And when I'm at work and you get a sale through, you're like, I'm making money while I'm at work as well. So it's like a double win.
More satisfying money.
It's just the freedom, isn't it, of working for yourself, I think, and not having to do that grind and not wanting to get up on a Monday morning and stuff like that.
And Belle, do you think that you'll end up going full-time as well? Because you're sort of working part-time now, is it? Cookie.
Cookie's just like staring me out.
What's she doing?
I don't know. You're freaking me out.
He's so distracting. I love him.
I work full-time, but well, potentially we're looking at relocation to Devon and opening up our Movie Fusion cafe. So that's the ultimate sort of goal in what we're doing. But outside of that, no, I don't. I think I'll leave it to Chris. Yeah. As much as I enjoy being part of it, I enjoy being part of it. I don't really want to do it full time. I don't have the same sort of mindset. As Chris, in terms, I haven't got the dedication Chris has to do what he's doing every day, day in, day out. Like I said, I quite like stepping in and out of it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. So no, I've probably not got the same sort of scope as you have. You've always wanted to do it full time, haven't you? And I'm fully 100% behind Chris, supporting him to do that. And obviously, whatever I need to do to help him with that is fine, as long as I don't have to do it full time.
I think having like that one sort of stable income kind of provides a bit more stability and security. So yeah, I think it's a good way to go. Obviously, well, we'd like to both go full time, but I'm not sure it's going to be plausible in the short term.
We might have to both go half time.
Yeah, that's it.
You're doing pretty well though, from what I've seen, because I've done a bit of stalking as well, so you're not the only one. I had a look at your eBay. You got like 2,000 listings, and a lot of your stuff is quite high value. I mean, you've got some good stuff in there, and I've seen like some of your sales and stuff like that, and you seem to be doing really well.
When it's on, it's great, but we have dips.
Yeah, I think we all went through that sort of 2 to 3 week down period because of all the item specifics and stuff, and that kind of really scared us because that was in the lead up to Jazzy going, well, it's only 1 day a week, but just noticing that drop off, and it was probably right when you were going full time as well.
Yeah, exactly the same time. I'd already handed me notice in, and then 2 days later, everything ballsed up.
Yeah,
I was really worried about it.
Yeah, but luckily we've seen a bit of a pickup over the last week or so. We're doing okay with what time we have, but we're sort of really starting to push those limits of what we can do without sort of dropping back. So
I'm just looking there. Mick Page was obviously watching us last night because he's put Cookie's looking for the cake that we were eating last night.
Yeah, I did see that.
Cookie likes a cake. VHS Thrifter Rob in Australia is asking, do you guys post much international or keep it just in the UK?
We do international at the moment. We only do international via GSP, which I know can be a pain because of the price involved. But I wasn't that confident about doing international on my own. But I'm going to, my plan for the next couple of days, I'm going to, I've got certain items, like I do like the cushion covers, the printed cushion covers. Now, I've had a few queries from international saying, you know, can you not post that? Because that should be quite simple to post international. I should know the price for it really easily. So I am going to do a bit of research on them, go to the post office, find out what it will cost for the different zones and whatever. And I might remove GSP from those as a little tester just to see if I get more interest, and then slowly build up. But I do GSP, but not my own international at the moment.
Yeah, we Australia doesn't even have GSP. We have to just go through our normal post office. So we don't even have.
I watch Rob a lot. I've watched loads of his videos recently. Brilliant. Absolutely love his channel.
Yeah,
he's got real potential to go massive, I think. Really but you know, he reminds me of what's his name? Aussie Man Reviews. You ever watch that?
Rob's a quality,
you know, that kind of commentary that they put on the video. He reminds me of him.
Yeah, we love what he's doing. So
we just hope he remembers us in years to come.
Zach's dropped your channel in, so if you guys haven't subbed to these guys, please do. I'm sure that everyone in the chat is subbed to you guys, but if you're not, head over there and show them some love. Do some great lives. Do a little bit of pre-recorded as well, and your 60-second tips, which Andrew complains about not being 60 seconds, but we'll just get that out of the conversation.
We don't even acknowledge him anymore when he does that.
Can't give him any screen time. What do you procrastinate the most over?
Good question.
Put my teeth back in.
God. So, what you mean, like, what do we think about the most, or what do we get distracted?
Yeah. What do you put off the most, I guess?
Yeah. Oh God. Well, I do hate listing, but it's got to be done. Everyone hates listing. It's the obvious answer. I don't know. I get distracted really easily, which is one thing that I need to be careful of. Like with my time management in a day, like I'll have loads of different YouTube videos going in the background whilst I'm listing, but then I can get distracted because I'll start making comments on videos and
actually live,
and then there's a live pops up, so let's drop into that, and before you know it, there's an hour gone. And
I actually came home the other day and you had music on, didn't you? And he was like so pleased with himself. He's like, I've got so much more done just listening to music.
You get that FOMO, especially with lives. Like, you want to be a part of the community and you want to be involved. And I really struggle with it because we're all like trying to catch up with the UK, the US, and it's all silly times for us. So I struggle so bad with that. I really want to be everywhere, but I just can't. Like, it's just impossible.
I have certain, going back to the procrastination, just going back to that question, I've got some stuff in my death pile that I'm putting off. So I've got like this big haul of cameras, and I know it's going to take me ages to research it all.
But it's probably going to be
there's probably good money in it, but I'm kind of putting that one off because at the moment I'm just thinking, well, it's Christmas period. I don't know if there's going to be a massive call for the cameras at this time. So I'm looking more at the Christmas gift sort of stuff. What can I get out there first?
You didn't think that when you came over with the big bag of cameras thinking you got a fantastic deal, though, did you?
I'm sure it's a good deal, but I can't bring myself to list it.
Yeah, there's definitely those things where you pick up and you know you're going to make money on it, but you're like, I've got to put effort in to make that money. That's probably a good question. Do you sort of stockpile for Christmas, or are you sort of more of the model where you want to be selling consistently throughout the year? Like, do you do RA at all or nothing like that?
Yeah, I do loads of RA and online arbitrage as well, and even buying from eBay to sell on eBay. I look for a lot of job lots and stuff like that are worth splitting up. But I don't believe in saving stuff, because it's something I learned from Jason T. Smith in the States. He always told me, don't save anything, just get it listed, and if someone wants it, they'll buy it. I mean, it's pretty true, I think, for the most part. I mean, I remember in June, July, I sold 2 plushes for Christmas plushes 2 days in a row, and it just proves that if somebody wants that item, they're going to buy it.
Yeah.
The only danger you've got is, say you list a load of Christmas stuff in the middle of the year. If you have that plan where after an item gets to 6 months, you're going to relist it, sell similar, and then you might reduce it. So you might not get your original price because you're relisting it. But I don't know. I'm of the mind, don't save anything, just get it all listed.
It's not going to sell if it's not listed.
Exactly, yeah.
I think with us as well, we only really buy unique Christmas sort of items as well. We don't just buy generic Christmas stuff. So there are items where, like you said, if people want them, they will buy them regardless of what time of year it is.
Yeah, that's.
Don't forget as well, if you're using promoted listings, something could ping up on a search that is seasonal, that's not of that season, and somebody might see it and just buy it, because they've seen it there at the top of the list. Someone might search Disney Mickey Mouse, but because you've got a Disney Mickey Mouse with Christmas in it, it might promote that to the top, and suddenly you've got a sale that's not Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. Here's a good question. Coming from a police background, how do you deal with scammers? Have you had many?
Not really. I think I've not had many at all. You get the odd one where you get emails through eBay with dots in between the words where they say, please ring me or please email me, I want this item, but I can't use eBay or something.
I suppose in that sense, you're a little bit more savvy to what certain, you're always like, you after being in this sort of job, you err on the side of caution with everything. Yeah. So the chances of us actually falling foul to something like that is a lot less likely, because we are more aware of sort of what's out there and what's going on and dealing with it. So in that sense, it's good. But we've never really had any issues.
I've not had a problem. Early days in eBay, I did get scammed for about 300 quid on a mobile phone.
That was before the cops, wasn't it?
Yeah, before I joined the cops. It's one of these pay by Western Union and all this stuff, and it just, I never actually saw the phone. It never arrived. It was coming from Romania or something. But I was very, very naive.
Yeah, I'm sat here with alarm bells going ding 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 ding.
Yeah, but this was the early days of eBay. This was like the year 2000 or something. They didn't have all the safeguards that they have now.
Yeah, well, eBay just changes constantly. Must be a whole different world from 2000.
Yeah, I can't imagine what's even like the last 2 years. It's changed crazy. So I can't imagine what it's changed since 2000. Like that's
I don't even know if eBay existed in 2000.
I've got 2 accounts. I've got a personal eBay account and I've got my business one. I don't use my personal one very often at all. I normally just put everything through the business now. But my personal eBay account dates back to 2000. That's when I set it up. So, yeah, that's how long I've been trading on there.
Wow. Yeah, that's...
yeah.
It's different.
My mind is blown.
They're looking at each other going, God, he's old.
No, not at all. It's just...
How old are you guys?
There were computers.
Brutal.
Gotta take it to the next level.
How old are you two?
Sorry?
How old are you? You two?
I'm 29 and Jazz is 28.
Glad you knew.
Yeah, we're old.
Big 3-0 next year, so I'm trying to avoid that. But
I'm literally 10 years older than you. That is so bad.
I think as you get older, you're like when you're 18, you're like, man, 30's old, and then when you get to like 30, you're like, oh,
I'm so young.
30's not old.
He's gonna say 40's old, then, isn't it? Go on.
Yeah.
Say it.
When you're 30, you say 80's old. No. Yeah, it's just one of those moving targets. I think you just keep Adding on to it. Yeah. I did want to ask about some of the challenges of reselling in the UK. So I guess we always hear about the poor weather and stuff, and you can't sort of get stuff for half a year. Is that true, or is that sort of an over exaggeration, or what are the challenges?
If you know where to look, then it's not too bad. Obviously during the summer months when you've got all the car boots, then happy days, you know, there's loads of places, but you just have to be a little bit more savvy during the winter months. But we're lucky because we have an all year round indoor car boot sale that we can rely on to go to. Not everywhere has that. And other than that, you're relying on your charity shops, which we all know the charity shop prices are just going up and up over here. It's, you know, you're not necessarily getting good bargains for reselling.
I think as long as you do a mixture of everything. So if you go to, I know you guys have, like, I've seen like the Aussie VHS Aussie Thrifter, he goes to a market. Well, I that is almost the same as our car boots. So if you do some car boots, if you look out for your local tabletop sales, which are normally indoors, like churches and schools and stuff, and you do your charity shops, you do your online arbitrage, you do your retail arbitrage. If you do all that, there shouldn't really be a problem anywhere, really, because you've got something throughout the year.
And do you guys source much from auctions at all? Do you have auction houses in your area?
I've not done auctions yet. I am on a couple of websites.
We did do auction. That's how you ended up with Chuppa Chup cats.
Oh, yeah, but that's not proper. That's not a proper auction. That was like a deals website type thing. They saw me coming a mile off there.
Hence the fact we haven't done any other auction sites.
I've not really touched auctions at the moment. I am on a couple of websites where I log on now and again and have a look but I've not seen anything really that I thought, well, that's worth getting.
Are you in favour of keeping a death pile, or do you like to kind of just get it, turn it over?
I don't think there's no choice really. I would like to get rid of it so that when you say you buy it a weekend, you can list it that week and then move on to your next lot. But in reality, I don't think that'll probably ever happen. But I would like to get the death pile down a bit so that it's a bit more manageable. I mean, I
don't know. I think in reality, if you start off that way, then it is possible to keep on top of it. But because we didn't, and our death pile is 3 years old, getting on top of it now is quite difficult.
You kind of list all the new stuff you get coming in, but you don't kind of get to the older stuff. We've kind of went through that, and we're starting to get a bit better now. Like the Monday that Jazzy's taken is kind of to list the older stuff. So she's pulling stuff out from like a year ago. Finding stuff that we didn't even remember we had, and there's some good money in there. We just haven't listed it. Which
what I find is that if you don't list something like within a few weeks of you buying it, you kind of mentally fall out of love with it. You know, when you first buy it, you're all excited, aren't you? And you think, this is going to make me whatever, 30 quid. If you don't list that fairly quick, it goes in a pile, and then you find the next new thing, and you're thinking about listing that, and you kind of fall out with that for a little while until you go back to it. So
I think the other issue we've got as well is because we've adapted over time, and Chris is now focusing on things that are only listing things that are of a higher price, whereas at the beginning, when we were less experienced, we were buying stuff where you could sell it, you know, you're buying it for 50p if it was going to sell for £10. Whereas he's not as interested in that sort of stuff now. So we do have a lot of stuff in the death pile from when we were buying then that it's not as high a value. So I think you kind of just think, oh, there's no point, I'll leave it.
You don't want to list it because you're like, I could be listing something worth double that and in the same period of time, but it's still money that you've spent. So it's that balance, isn't it? It's hard. Maybe you should like mix them in and just grab 10 and do 10, and then whatever it is.
I am
10 high, 10 low.
I am working through it, and I've like this morning, I'm listing stuff that I've had for ages. This morning, I've been doing some loot crate sort of bundles that I had big job lots of loot crate stuff, and a lot of it is little smalls that are not worth a lot, but I've been putting a few, like 5 or 6 items together 25 quid. I sold one last week, which then spurred me on to do more. That's always fun, isn't it? And
when you sell something in one category, you're like, all right, list all the jeans, list all the jeans.
That's it. So, yeah, I'm working through it.
Regret?
It's definitely better.
Sorry, Chris.
Go on.
Is there one deal that you wish you hadn't done?
Oh, do you really need to ask? The chupa chups, probably. But it has caused a lot of sort of chit chat. Which
it's been a good talking.
It's a friendly joke now, isn't it? Everyone's going to own one at some point.
Well, we're signing them now. People want them signed.
Yeah,
It's so good.
It's like a part of your channel now. It's like ominous. In the community.
What else have we bought that we thought, well, it's probably not worth it? I'm just looking around in here listed.
Oh, you've gone through your thing, haven't you? You've swore blind you're never buying any big plushies anymore because we have a box of giant size sort of
really
plushies that take up a lot of space. So we kind of, because you know your mentality when you first see them is, oh my god, it's that big, it's got to be worth money.
Well, they are worth money, but they're just not worth enough for the amount of space that they take up.
Yeah, I think that's a big consideration sometimes. Like when you're buying these big items, you're like, yeah, there's $50 in it, or 25 quid, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but it's taking up the room of 10 things that could have made me 50. Like,
it's the real estate.
Yeah.
And I will point out the one thing that I always hated him for buying was the giant moose.
Have you seen that?
I've got very small talks about it, but I haven't seen the actual.
He came home with, it must have been 4 foot from the floor, this moose. It was from Brother Bear, the Disney film. So it was, you know, but it was like one of these.
Massive.
It was like, you know what you'd see in the Disney store in where they do a scene in the window and they have all these giant. Yeah. It was huge, and it just sat looking at it for weeks.
What did Cookie think of that?
She hated it.
That's crazy.
You did sell it eventually, didn't you? You made, but watching him box it up to send it was hilarious. It was just so funny. He was getting so annoyed because he couldn't fit them into these 2 boxes.
Some music going on in there. He's just adding some interest to the stream. That's what's going on.
Oh, Mel.
Mel, how often do you eat eggs and soldiers? That's
not since I was about 10.
That's a child.
That's something you make your kids when they're little. Yeah, and you.
I haven't had it since I was a kid.
No. So conversely to worst deals, what's been one of your best finds or the best deals that you guys have ever done?
Oh, that's an easy one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. We found we did do a video on it ages ago, and it probably still is one of the best deals. We found a Nike
podium
Olympic jacket, USA Olympic jacket, that was like a podium jacket. So when they got the gold, silver, or bronze, they went up wearing this jacket. We don't know if it was one that was worn actually by somebody, but they were only made in a very, very limited run and only sold in one shop in the States.
Wow.
So it was really, really rare. And this jacket was hung up on the back of a car at a car boot sale like 5 hours after it started, and nobody had picked it up because we were really late there. Weren't we? We were really late, and you spotted it.
Yeah.
And we had a look at it. It had a little mark on it, which made the value a bit less.
Like £4.
But we paid £4 for it. I think we got 230 or something like that.
But I mean, without this mark on, these jackets were selling like £500. But because it had these little black marks on it, it just like devalued it a bit.
And all those other people just walked past it. Like it's.
Oh God, that's the amazing thing, really, because you always like to get to the sales early, you know, try and get the best stuff. But we were really late there because we'd been to a different sale first, and it was just hung there, nobody interested.
Do you not even look at items or think, how did you get here? How are you?
All the time. Right. You're like, why? Where did this come from? Like, who put this here?
It would be great to sort of to know the history of an item and find out how did that jacket get here from from one store that was selling it in the States, like God knows how many years ago.
Yeah, who bought it?
Yeah,
This person's car.
Crazy. Lainey has a good question. In 5 years' time, where do you hope to be with your life and your business?
Having a manager run our cafe so we can live a life of luxury. Does that sound too much?
No, the thing is, if you don't have these goals, they're never going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I've never really been one for goals, but at the moment we really do have a genuine goal that we want to run a movie themed cafe, but also run our eBay alongside it, so that we can have a lot of our eBay stuff also in the cafe.
Yeah, I can see it. That's cool.
It's so good.
That is our goal that we really want to do, and we're working towards that now. It's going to mean taking some really big risks, which I'm trying to get my head around at the moment, which includes selling a house which I have a fairly low mortgage on, and actually going to rent for a little while. And that's one of the biggest things that I have to get my head around, really.
And moving away from family, because we're moving away, relocating to the other side of the country. So
wow,
there's a lot of risks involved.
And do you think you'll run your YouTube alongside that as well? And will that sort of evolve? Or
yeah, I mean, someone made a suggestion. Why don't we set up, do some videos of setting up the cafe, and if we actually make it, like sort of do some vlogs on how it's going until the day we open up.
I was saying, stick a camera up in the cafe and do some lives from the cafe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're thinking about it. The only thing is that worries me about doing something like that is what happens if we don't actually end up getting a cafe and we've gone to all these videos and we've built up expectations.
I don't think it matters though, because that's true life. Like that's what happens. Like people go through these things, and sometimes they don't work out, but sometimes they do. Like the journey is the thing that people want to see. So I definitely value in it, and I'd be keen to see it for sure.
Even if it didn't go the way you thought it was going to go, people just want to see authenticity.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
and I think if you went from like doing what you're doing now and then all of a sudden in a cafe, there's no connection. Like you kind of lose that, that linear line of what's happened. Whereas if you do it bit by bit, it kind of becomes something of its own. So I'd be keen for it.
I've not really thought of it like that.
Here's another good question, Eric. If you had to live and source in another country, which country would it be?
USA.
America.
Yeah. We're all envious of the USA.
You know that's only because we've never been to Australia, so we can't actually say whether
the USA has way more vintage stuff and way more cool stuff than Australia. Like
they just pop down to their thrift stores and get like 5 vintage teas.
Yeah. Saying that, you guys got a very good vintage pickup from the vintage. What was it? Vintage like pound sales?
Yeah, vintage kilo sales are called. Which one? Which pickup?
Your most latest one, the one where I got the Space Jam shirt from.
Oh, what you mean this one that I'm about to post today?
The one that he forgot my eldest son was waiting for him to get out the pile because he wanted to look at it.
I'm going to be stoked when I get that. That's
Brad's about to jump out of his seat.
Yeah.
I'm going to send that today.
Yeah, he held it up and he was like, "Oh, to Aussie Thrifters, he's buying this," and I was like, "Oh, that's the one Kieran was waiting for you to show him to see whether he wanted it or not." He went, "Oh, yeah, well, just tell him it wouldn't fit."
I was really surprised what that was worth, to be honest with you. I was shocked, really. But I think I gave you a good deal.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I was expecting sort of that or up. So I'm glad we worked out a price that worked for us.
You never know what else might arrive in that package. There could be a surprise in there.
I'm betting on a Chubba cat. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's so cool.
Tommy, if it's the same Nike coat, it had a white tag with initials on the tag, made in Italy. I found one new with tags. Wow. Last year, I believe it sold for $500.
It was the Nike coat was a grey, but it was reflective. The whole thing was reflective. So if you took a picture of it with the flash on, it looked white. It was a really nice coat. Really, really nice.
Yeah, That's crazy fun. Like those are the things you do for.
If you found one of those new with tags with the prices that they were going used, I would have said
It's got to be at least that.
Yeah,
more than that, I would think.
Yeah, because like I said, the used ones that were being sold that didn't have any marks on, they were going for £400-500.
How much are you guys hoping that motorsport jacket is going to be worth?
At least $35.
Yeah. We only paid $35 for it.
We don't know anymore.
The thing, like the numbers that are being thrown around are way beyond what I expect. So everyone that has sort of thrown a number out has been saying $1,000 upwards.
Wow.
And some quite substantially higher than that. But I'm not willing to sort of put a number on it until I find out it's authentic.
You don't want to wait, do you?
So it's kind of that thing where you're like, yeah, I think there is money there. And even if that signature wasn't real, which I'm pretty confident it is, the value in the jacket would be enough to well and truly cover what we paid, because it's a 1995 Formula One jacket, the last year that they raced in Adelaide. So, yeah.
If it goes to a good home and it doesn't get returned, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's half the thing, isn't it?
I just noticed from his comment it wasn't the same jacket. He said his was blue.
Oh, okay.
And his was 2006. 2006.
I can't remember what year it was.
No.
Can't remember what year.
It's crazy. So we've got a couple minutes left, guys. If anyone wants to ask any last minute questions for Chris and Annabelle, please please drop it in the chat. I'm losing my words.
What are your 5-year plans then?
This is about you guys.
Yeah. We usually don't get questions turned around on us. I think we would both like to go full time at some point. We'd like to pay off a lot of our house because we just bought this house in January this year, which is 9 months ago now. But,
oh my God.
Yeah, so pay a lot of the debt off and then slowly reduce our overheads and go full time. And hopefully our YouTube just grows naturally and people don't get sick of us is probably the main thing. But yeah, we're just enjoying what we're doing at the moment. So.
Yeah. Even if I went full time, even if I could cut back to just like a casual job here and there, something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Just for the freedom.
No. Like you said, it's good to have a goal, isn't it? It's good to, whether you reach it or not is another thing, but at least you've got something to aim for and to focus on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It started out as like trying to add to my wage. So that's probably the main thing is I don't want to be living on the same wage. I want to add to it. So
yeah.
How do you convince your partners reselling is great?
Fill the house full of stuff and say, help me or it'll stay here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have used pretty much those words in the past. But what
was your famous line that used to always come to me? Whenever he used to go on about reselling, he'd go, whatever holiday was coming up, he'd go, it's paying for Barbados. It's paying for New York. And that's constantly what I would get whenever it's like, this is what's paying for this holiday. And I'd be like, right, okay then.
Pretty good motivation.
That definitely helps.
When I sort of started doing it as a business in 2015, the idea was that if it paid for 1 or 2 holidays for us in a year, I would be happy. That was the level that we were at, really, wasn't it?
And then he started to use it as like a threat, like, you know, if we don't make this money, you're not going on that holiday.
Get some bloody listings done.
Tommy said, I was on WorthPoint today and I only found one Niki Lauda clothing article. It was a replica driving suit, not even legit, and sold for almost $1,000. Wow.
Okay.
Brad, how did you end up with such a great woman? I honestly have no idea. So
where is she?
I count myself lucky every day, and I think most of us blokes do because we all know where they are. Well, I'm definitely the lower end of the relationship. Let's put it that way.
Super annoying.
So I guess we've only sort of got a little while before we tick over the hour mark. So if anyone has any last minute questions, please drop them in. Otherwise, please make sure that you sub to Chris and Belle, Cookies and the Haydens on YouTube.
Cookie and the Haydens, just one.
Cookie.
Yeah, there's only one.
Yeah, don't give us more than one cookie.
I really like cookies though. But yeah, definitely head over there, subscribe. They have some awesome content. Their reselling world is really impressive, and they put a lot of effort in. So definitely head over there, show them some love, and I guess we'll see you next time on This Is Your Reselling Life for another great story from another great reseller.
Whoa, earthquake. Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you later on. Bye.
Bye.